welcome to another episode of Trip 101 Travel Talk series. Joining me today is Katherine, and we're going to be discussing a very exciting destination, which is the sunshine capital of Europe. It's Croatia. A very warm welcome to you, Katherine. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, happy to. Thank you for having me.
So, before we discuss the destination that we have chosen today, Katherine, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're doing, and how did you end up going to Croatia?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri, smack in the middle of the US. If you're familiar with the Chiefs or NFL, that's my hometown. So originally from there, studied my undergraduate in Los Angeles, and then after studying abroad in England, decided to move back here for a master's. So now I'm based in London. I'm a master's student at the University of Westminster studying digital marketing management, hoping to go into like the tourism or lifestyle industry because I do love travel, so I'm here. So that's been really fun, but I'm just now finishing that up. And yeah, I've had some work in social media marketing, starting a new role here, hoping to get settled. And that explains why I also enjoy sharing my travels on my social media as well.
And now that you're doing your master's in England, are you using this opportunity to explore a lot of Europe?
Yeah, definitely. I've always loved traveling. I grew up in a family that prioritized travel over buying a new car. We were always going on trips together to either visit family or see new parts of the world. So I've always enjoyed it and wanted to live somewhere that it was easier to travel from because Kansas City and just the center of America is quite far from any other countries and cultures I want to see, and Europe has a lot of that. That was part of the allure of coming to London. I've definitely been using it to have lots of time to travel. I go on a trip to a new country at least once a month, which I feel fortunate to be able to do. I'm definitely
Yeah.
doing it very budget, but I wouldn't take it back for the world. It's been incredible.
Oh, that's so cool. So, which are the ones that you've already visited nearby?
Let's see. So I oftentimes I just visit cities. I wouldn't say I've explored a whole country because it's difficult to do, but Prague, Budapest, Nice, lots of Italy. I did a Euro railing thing. Rome, Florence, Milan, Venice, Montenegro, a bit around Spain, like Mallorca, Barcelona, Paris, Amsterdam, Portugal. I think the few that I haven't been to yet, at least some part of it, is Belgium, which is funny because it's one of the closest to the UK. Norway, Finland, Baltics, like
Hmm.
Estonia, Latvia, places like that. Those are all next to my list, especially with it being nice like winter weather coming up, like trying to see the Northern
Hmm.
Lights somewhere, maybe Iceland, I don't know. So
Yeah.
definitely still a lot to see, but I've been gradually ticking off as many countries as I can.
That's really great. Yeah. Being in that central location helps you visit all of these really cool places nearby. So, that's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, since it was a destination, when you did actually go, how did it live up to your expectations?
It definitely, I would say, exceeded my expectations. I
Mm.
go in with high expectations and they always seem to match or exceed it, just because it was a beautiful country. So much to see and do. Lots of fun. I met lots of amazing people, chatted with locals, tried the cuisine, which I didn't know very much about when I initially looked into Croatia, but it is very similar to nearby countries. Lots of seafood, all amazing. In every aspect, it exceeded my expectations for sure.
That's really great. And now I want to know more about the hostel that you were staying at in Hvar, since they were quite instrumental in making a lot of things happen.
Yes, they were. That was probably one of my favorite hostel experiences that I've had as well, because I almost exclusively stay at hostels, especially when I'm solo traveling, except for sometimes I'll stay at like an Airbnb with a group of friends, especially if it makes it almost cheaper than a hostel sometimes because you're splitting the cost. So it just depends. But that hostel was incredible. It advertised itself as a bit of like a social party hostel, but it wasn't like they were blasting music throughout the
Mhm.
night to the point where it's obnoxious because you can sometimes run into that with party hostels. I We found it on Hostel World, looked at all the reviews, looked at all the pictures. It was absolutely stunning. Had a terrace overlooking the water with a bar and some tables, and that's where they had the pizza night, which obviously free food was a bonus for us when booking it because it's great. We're saving money again. So That was all great. It was called Hostel Villa Skansi. I don't know if I mentioned, but I would definitely recommend them. They also were very well located, like a 5 minute walk into Old Town, and then a 20-minute walk to the beach that we went to, or 10-minute walk to the other beaches. It was very well located, had a grocery market just down the street, so it was easy to pick up like some breakfast or snacks for the beach. But yeah, I would say out of a lot of the hostels I went to, they had the best activities offered and were really helpful
Mm.
in providing us with kind of information or different tips. And they would say, honestly, don't go to this beach. Like it's going to be super crowded. They weren't trying to just sell us on anything. They were giving us like
Mm.
actual recommendations. And they were recommending different restaurants and said this one can be a bit overpriced, but it is really good. They were being very honest and authentic about it, which I appreciated. They weren't just saying yes to everything, basically. And then, yeah, providing like the pub crawl, pizza night, happy hour, and especially the boat tour, they just had everything we wanted. I think we actually went in thinking that maybe we'll do pizza one of the nights to save money, but we want to go out and try different cuisine in the Old Town more because the pizza is probably just going to be like okay. But it actually was incredible. It's some of the best pizza. And they definitely encouraged a very social atmosphere. They had like big long tables where you have to sit with strangers in a way. I think they were very intentional about that. And so you really get to meet people and then go straight out with them to the pub crawl.
Mm.
So I think the whole setup, like how they have the tables, how they bring out the pizza and like the staff will talk to everyone and try to get conversations going and then take everyone out to the bars. They just did an incredible job with all of
Mm.
that. And I hadn't seen that as much with different hostels. I've had very social ones, but it's more so because the people I was in a room with were social. In this case, it was not only the people, but also the staff working there. So, yeah, they were absolutely incredible with all of the recommendations and working with us on any questions we had, anything we wanted to do, like the boat tour. Cannot recommend that enough. That was an amazing day. And yeah, they were definitely the ones that made that happen. So it was great.
Did you hear about them from some friends who had visited before, or did you find them online?
We found them ourselves on Hostel World, and that's usually the app that I look at, but I also use like booking.com or Airbnb sometimes.
So thank you so much for sharing about your trip to Croatia today, Catherine. I'm really glad that you could join me. It's been really fun speaking to you and all your suggestions about having a really budget trip to Croatia, especially. They were really helpful, and I'm sure that our viewers will find them quite helpful while they're planning their trip. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. And I was happy to talk about it and share any
Yeah.
wisdom that I have from those 6 days. So I hope anyone listening puts Croatia higher on their bucket list after this, because I definitely would.
Yeah, thanks once again. And with this, we will sign off for today. Bye bye.
Sounds good. Bye.